Here are some of the most ridiculous purchases made by celebrities. Number 8. Jay-Z and Beyonce. Jay-Z and Beyonce are pretty well off, to say the least. Their combined net worth is more than $1 billion, making them one of the richest couples on the planet. Since making $1 billion is a ton of money, it seems like they're also perfecting the spending part. Jay consistently has spent $250,000 on a bottle of champagne clubs all over the world, and he's definitely generous with the tips as well. However, popping bottles isn't going to do them in anytime soon. He's also splurged on a top-notch racing horse by buying a Kentucky Derby winner, for which he paid $55 million. I'm not in the horse business, but from what I understand, there can be quite some money made with horses with the right pedigree. Jay's spending certainly isn't limited only to himself. For Beyonce's 29th birthday, he bought her an island near the shore of Florida for $20 million. Hey, at least it was cheaper than the horse. Don't worry, Beyonce has reciprocated for him. As a matter of fact, she bought him a $40 million private jet that, of course, came with bedrooms, bathrooms, and a kitchen. In fact, she knows how to treat herself as well. Listen to this. She spent $100K on gold leggings made by Balenciaga. Well, at least the leggings are made from gold. Number 7. Nicolas Cage. If you think you're not that good at managing your own money, try and see how Mr. Cage does it. Or better said, doesn't. He's been listed as one of the best paid actors of all time, and yet he'd be a great example of how to earn millions and lose it all over some pretty bad spending habits. Even though he obviously excels on the screen, I mean, come on, you're not f***ing with him in Con Air. It looks like Nicolas Cage has had some trouble restraining himself from unnecessary spending. He's known for his lavish real estate properties and expensive cars. This guy bought several castles around Europe, and one of them cost him $9 million. Actually, the more than I think about it, isn't that kind of cheap for a castle? Anyways, while accumulating real estate can be seen as a good investment, buying a $275,000 dinosaur skull is probably not. He actually overbid my dude Leo DiCaprio on that one. But the winner's curse kicked in. It turned out that the skull had been imported illegally in the country, making things a bit more complicated than what he had expected, and he eventually had to sell it to pay off another debt. Think about having that conversation. Yeah, hold up, man. Let me sell my dinosaur skull real quick and get you your money. Anyways, Cage also bought 2 islands in the Bahamas for actually a pretty awesome deal. Just $7 million for both. Quite the steal, really. And the first ever edition of the Superman comic worth $2 million, which later on was stolen from his house. If you think it can't get worse than that, know that he also likes spending ridiculous amounts of money on exotic pets, buying albino cobras, octopuses, crocodiles, and even a shark. But you know what? If you're going to have an aquarium, having a shark up there is pretty boss. Just like in fitness, where you can't out-train a bad diet, it's the same thing here. You can't out-earn a bad spending habit. Nicolas Cage had to foreclose on several properties and sell a lot of his belongings due to some, let's just call it, financial difficulties. Number 6. Miley Cyrus. As of 2017, it's been estimated that Miley Cyrus is worth more than $200 million, which means that the Hannah Montana days definitely treated her well. Let's be for real though. Ever since she changed her brand around with her Good Girl Gone Bad act, she's probably generated a lot of cash flow just like her Hannah Montana days. Why am I telling you guys this? I'm just letting you guys know that Miley has a little problem of money burning her pockets. Apparently, one of her guilty pleasures are hair extensions. And she likes to splurge on her hair extensions, and she's willing to pay more than $25,000 to get the best ones out there. I guess that makes sense, considering how many times she's appeared with her head shaved in public, a la Britney back in 2007. Her pet game is also quite strong. She decided to treat her dogs with a nice Range Rover, which cost more than $100,000. And no, it's not like she's bought the car for herself and would just occasionally drive her pets around. Nope, the Range Rover is bought especially for the dogs. Apparently, she doesn't allow her dogs to be driven in another vehicle, and insists that they get to be carried places in their Range Rover only. I'm gonna assume that she has her own driver for these pups too. Well, I guess Biggie wasn't wrong. More money, more problems. Number 5. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Even though their divorce left Brad Pitt with a bigger chunk of their fortune thanks to the good old prenup, they did live quite lavishly together. It's been estimated that they both earned a total of $555 million combined during their time together. So, it should come as no surprise to learn that Angelina didn't save money when it came to her husband. To start with, she bought him a $1 million helicopter just so they could easily fly in and out of Cannes, because who can waste time being stuck in traffic on the French Riviera? Well, actually, if it really does save a lot of time, then that's not that bad of a purchase at all. For his birthday, she went even bigger on the gifts and got him a waterfall for his 48th birthday. Okay, who gives a waterfall for someone's birthday? Of course, as expected, she bought him not only the waterfall, but the land around it as well, and they ended up building a pretty luxurious dream house there. And Brad has been known for occasionally treating himself, such as spending millions of dollars on antiques, but hey, at least he didn't bring some weird exotic pet to the house. Anyway, it's no wonder she was the one to file for divorce if she felt her efforts weren't being appreciated enough, but in all fairness, it's really hard to top off that waterfall gift. However, keeping in mind how much they've actually given out to humanitarian purposes and good causes, a little splurging here and there within their budget, can't hate on that. Number 4. Kim Basinger. After successfully completing her role as a Bond girl, Kim Basinger's career took off and never looked back. The same can probably be said for her spending habits, as she has been known for her extravagant purchases. In fact, she got so carried away in her spending that she thought buying a whole town in Georgia was actually considered a good purchase. What speaks success more than owning your own town? Well, actually, I think I can think of a few things, but anyways, back in 1989, while she was stuck in traffic, a road sign grabbed her attention. The road sign apparently suggested to her that she should buy the town, and since road signs are good financial advisors, she paid $20 million for a 2,000-acre town in northern Georgia. She had some big plans for this little town, hoping to turn it into a production studio with its own theme park and other attractions that would bring in visitors. Since no one has ever heard about a famous production studio in northern Georgia, it shouldn't come as a surprise to you to learn that Kim filed for bankruptcy just a mere 6 years later and had to sell the town for a petty $1 million. Wait, someone else bought a town? Moral of the story, don't trust road signs that tell you to buy something. Number 3, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is probably one of the most successful and arguably the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. At his peak, I can't think of a worse person to get into the ring with. Well, in addition to the ridiculous uppercuts, he did also bite off Evander Holyfield's ear and paid a $3 million fine for it. Iron Mike is definitely a man of attention, and one of those ways was his spending back in the day. He managed to spend a fortune of more than $300 million accumulated throughout his career and declare bankruptcy. If you wonder how that happened, it's pretty simple. Well, first, Don King did steal millions from him, but really what did him in was all his spending. Tyson loved to splurge on exotic pets. Mike decided that a Bengali tiger would be a highly suitable pet for his house in Vegas. In fact, so suitable that he bought 2 instead for a total of $140,000. The Bengali tigers are officially an endangered species, and they're not exactly cheap to properly take care of. He spent more than $200,000 on food for the tigers. Those kitties usually come with a big appetite. And an additional $125,000 on a trainer. Iron Mike has said that he'd love to have his Bengali tigers back again, because apparently they're great pets. His most ridiculous purchase has to be the $2 million he spent on a single bathtub as a Christmas gift for his then wife. Fast forward to his bankruptcy in 2003, Iron Mike only managed to blow away his whole fortune, but he also had a debt of almost $40 million. Today, it seems like Iron Mike is doing okay. Hopefully he's learned a lesson or two in his spending habits. Number 2, Paris Hilton. Born as the great-granddaughter of the owner of the Hilton Hotels, this blonde princess doesn't even have to work that much to earn millions of dollars each year. Unless, of course, party appearances and occasional DJing count as working, which I guess it does sort of count, as it does take a lot of late nights. In case you've ever wondered why she's famous, the most enlightening answer would be that she's just famous for being famous. Well, I guess she did leak that sex tape one night in Paris that taught Kim K how to get famous. Anyways, earning millions each year does come with a burden of its own. Those millions aren't going to spend themselves, now are they? And Paris sure knows how to spend, especially when it comes to her pets. Striving to provide maximum comfort for her army of dogs, she spent $325,000 on a 2-story villa. The villa has a 300 square feet area. Its roof is decorated with actual real clay tiles, and there's also a black crystal chandelier inside. In case you wondered, yes, the villa does have a balcony as well, making it a bit more luxurious than the average American home. I mean, where would a dog get some fresh air if not on its villa's balcony? And for the record, the median home price in LA County was right around $616,000 in 2016, so this place in Beverly Hills was kind of a steal. Oh, and the dogs she has are quite the special snowflakes themselves. She doesn't save much when it comes to them, and they're enjoying a life of limitless pampering. Supposedly, she has a nanny for some of her dogs because apparently they need to be fed like babies. One of her dogs cost her $13,000, and it was the smallest Pomeranian in the world. She also bought a baby Chihuahua for around $7,000. Experts say that taking care of small dogs like hers may cost quite a lot since their health is more fragile and their diet needs to be more nutritious. It's been estimated that taking care of a Chihuahua during what would be an average life of 13 years can cost you more than $100,000. What? Who are these experts doing these evaluations? Really? Almost $8,000 a year to take care of a small dog? As of 2017, she has at least 10 dogs in her house, so you do the math there. Number 1. Celine Dion. A humidifier costs around $30 to $40 more or less, depending on what you expect out of it. Sure, you can get some more expensive brands, and you'd probably expect a top-of-the-line humidifier marketed towards the rich would cost something like $1,000, right? Don't hold me to that number, that's just a complete guess by me. How about this, though? It probably never crossed your mind to spend $2 million on a humidifier, has it? Well, someone bothered to come up with a $2 million humidifier, and Celine Dion made the effort of buying it. Apparently, her vocal cords are so fragile that an improperly humidified environment can easily affect them. According to her, it's crucial for her to get the best possible humidifier out there and keep the room she stays in as humid as possible. While doing her residency at Caesar's Palace in my city of Las Vegas, she made the hotel install a similar humidifier, which hangs above the stage while she sings. Hey, for $2 million, I'd expect a small performance out of the humidifier, but that's just me. Here's what's next. Number 3, Money Mayweather, pet tiger. Come on, guys. Of course, Floyd Mayweather got a rare baby tiger he received from Russian friends as a Christmas present. How would Floyd not have Russian friends that would give him an exotic pet? Obviously, this gift from his friends in